I'm your host, Matt Brum. I'm here with OCTV. We are in Oxford, Michigan at 465 South Claspy Road at a company that calls themselves Lumber Mac. We're going to step in here shortly and talk with owner Josh McFarland regarding Lumber Mac and what they do here. So come inside. We're going to check out how it's locally grown. I'm joined with Josh McFarland, owner-operator of Oxford Lumber Mac, and just all-around good guy. Josh, got some questions for you in regards to Lumber Mac. What is Lumber Mac? Tell me a little bit about you guys.
So we're just a custom and exotic wholesaler and manufacturer of tables, benches, chairs, mantles, and doors. Just started off small and wanted to branch out and started increasing the repertoire of what we're able to do.
That sounds great. So where do you guys get your, so you use both domestic and exotic slabs. Where are your exotic slabs from?
Right out of Costa Rica. Yeah, so we went there and did a 2-day tour of one of the mills out there in Costa Rica and hand selected some of the species that we have here and just started making bar tops, tabletops, and benches. Also chairs as well with it, along with charcuterie boards. So we just thought it was something a little bit special, and a little bit different than our domestic species, which everybody's familiar with, but just wanted to bring something new to the table. That's
great. So that's what we see behind us, right? These are all the exotics from Costa Rica?
Yeah. So we have right here, this is this is cobacho. It's actually a similar species would be like a mahogany, if you will, very dense, very hard to work with, really. Not very porous, but ideal for like a hard surface. Then we have peroda. We also have monkey pod as well. Tiger wood. This guy right here with the nice coloration, that is wild cashew. And then we have some possum wood as well, and a couple other cool species in there.
Very cool. So from start to finish, you get your slabs in. Just take me through just a periphery process of you get your slab in, and then where does the process go from there to create a table?
Well, so what we do is we have the customer come in here and hand select the slab that they'd like to see into their home based on the dimensions that we're given, or we'll come out and do a field measure. From that point, once the slab is selected, we'll take it and we'll put it onto our machine as our slab flattener. Okay. Then from there, it just takes out any kind of humps and just levels the top surface and the bottom surface. From there, then we put in our additional flattening support brackets underneath, just to ensure that there's no cupping or a curling of the lumber. It stays true and flat, whether it's on a table or for a countertop. And then from there, we do our finish sanding and then apply our finish, and then ship it out to our customer or install it.
That's great. So you've got customers who may come in and they want you to do the whole enchilada. They want you to take the table from us. They want you to take a slab, create a table for it. What about I'm a do-it-yourselfer? I want to try to create a table like this myself. Do you offer anything like that?
Those are my favorite, and here's why. Because usually the do-it-yourselfer is very handy, and that's kind of where I started. So we welcome that. We'll actually even take the slab. We even offer flattening services for that do-it-yourselfer. And if they need any pointers on how to finish, we're here to help out in any shape, way, or form. But all ends of the spectrum, from the homeowner that wants us to make it to a do-it-yourselfer that maybe needs a couple of pointers but wants to do it themselves and have that sense of ownership and pride on their project. We welcome that.
That's great. That's great. Now, I've heard too that you are doing something to kind of pay it forward to some of the younger bucks around the neighborhood, so to speak. Tell us a little bit about that. What are you doing with some of the younger guys?
Well, I noticed, when I was in high school, I had Oakland Technical Center, and we were able to go, either the first part of the day or the afternoon portion of the day, where we would go and learn a trade, if you will. And I noticed that Oxford didn't have that for our high school students, and I think, in this generation, this day and age, it's important to remember to work with your hands. And so, I was pretty passionate about bringing that same thing to the community, and having the high school students come in here, get some sawdust on them, and learn this trade of finishing. And if anything, they learn some life skills. Our motto here is each one teach one, and you know, they learn a little bit more than just woodworking here. It's a unique culture that we've developed here.
That's so cool. That's so cool to be able to bring those kids in, teach them this life skill that they can then go in and use and create their own table, their own heirloom table for their families.
It pretty much went one high schooler at a time. One of our good buddies, Gavin, started working here probably a year and a quarter ago, mainly a year, and went from our coworker Gavin to our coworker Trey to our coworker Brennan. Brennan got on Ryan, and then Ryan got me on.
Yep, kind of like a train got us in here.
Yeah, in the mornings we, at the beginning of the semester, started off doing OTEC at their northeast campus, and we would do construction trades there, and they allow a program called work-based learning, and that pretty much allows you to go to school and have your boss act as your teacher for 3 hours of the day, or at least a couple periods. And so we get to come here, still learn about basics of construction. Clearly we work with finished wood now. They did a little bit more of framing, but we keep our construction ability up, we still learn, and we come here, get paid for 3 hours of the day. So our boss gets, I guess, cheaper, younger labor, and we get to come in, learn, make money at the same time. I mean, we've been trying as much as we can. We have buddies who come up to us at school all the time, and they love it. I mean, we tell them about how we come here, and we show them pictures, and they think it's pretty cool. I mean, just the fact that we can be here, and it's not an option that everyone has heard about, and they just think it's pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, I've recommended it to a lot of our buddies, and we've talked to Josh and a couple of our foremen, and even Alfred, but it just goes as, you know, as we get the jobs. So absolutely, but who knows when that'll come.
I mean, I feel we're trying to make the best of everything we make. You come in here, you tell us what you want. It can just be a thought in your mind, and we'll make it. We'll create anything you want, to be honest with you.
I mean, we love what we do pretty much. All right, so right now we just have a fresh slab that we're getting ready to finish and get ready out to get stained. We are not putting legs on this one, so we're gonna start at just a basic really heavy grit, which is like 80 or 100, and then just flatten it out and pretty much get like all the rough spots that you'd feel by hand. And there's two different modes. You got two aggressive modes that we like to use here, and we just put it on our aggressive mode, put it down flat, and turn it on, and go just a smooth, even pace, and it takes it off. And then we're gonna switch to a lighter, not as aggressive mode on our sander that allows it to not grab the surface as much, but move to how the surface is. So whether it shakes or makes a complete rotation, and just flip of a switch, and then.
Every year, distracted drivers are responsible for nearly 2.5 million car crashes. The National Safety Council reports cell phone use while driving leads to 1.6 million crashes. The NSC reports 1 out of every 4 car accidents in the United States is caused by texting and driving. Texting or reading text takes your eyes off the road for at least 5 seconds.
How you doing, man?
So if you were traveling at 55 miles per hour, you're essentially driving the length of an entire football field blindfolded. Once a driver has been distracted, it takes only 3 seconds for a car crash to occur.
Just think, what if we didn't have local TV and radio? Where would I go for local sports, local politics, a mayor, city council, stuff that affects me every day? How about health? Who's covering things that endanger my family? I need to know now, as it happens, from sources I trust, people in my community. No agenda, no bias like you find on cable and social media. Just facts. For news I can trust, I stay local. Support your local station. Text TV to 52886 today.
So I'm Melanie. I'm here with Canine Stray Rescue League. I've been with the rescue about 5.5 years. I'm the foster coordinator here. I volunteer as well as I'm a board member. It's hard to get a good read on the dog, and it's hard to tell sometimes that a dog is a great dog when they're stuck in the kennel environment living on a concrete slab. And it's nice when they go into foster care because we can get a little bit better feel of who they are as a dog, and then we can find a better fitting home for them. We can learn if they do well with dogs or people or kids, cats for that matter. Cats in particular are really difficult for us here because we don't have cats on site. So if you do become a foster with us, we do provide everything, so it's not any expense to you. We'll provide you with the things that you'll need, such as a cage, food, if you need doggy bowls. We have support for you as well. So if you are interested in becoming a foster, email us at caninestrayrescue@yahoo.com, and we will put you in touch with me, and we'll see if you're a good fit for fostering with us.
So Josh, how did Lumbermac get started? How did you have the creative ingenuity to say, I'm going to get some slabs, I'm going to do countertops, islands, faux beams, kind of from the beginning? How did this start?
It actually all started as I was actually a contractor. I was a builder and doing custom renovations on bathrooms, kitchens, and I'd actually torn down an old barn, a turn-of-the-century barn, and started doing barn beams in customers' homes, and it was really just kind of like my signature into customers' homes. And at the time I didn't have a garage at my own house, so I was looking around for like a little building, and pretty much I started off in a glorified garage just north of town here in Oxford. It was maybe an 800 square foot facility, and just woodworking, and started making a couple tables here and there, and I was like, this is kind of cool. It was starting to complement the construction, and then I just started developing a passion for just woodworking and the details that goes into it. And then from there, it just it started off with domestic slabs, and then into the doing glue ups, and it just kind of took off from there. And then just wanted to teach this. It was something really unique. Started off as a hobby, turned into a profession.
That's great. So I want to show one thing. So we talked about these beams. So you got this beam here, and you look at this thing and you'd say, wow, this must be from a kind of a turn-of-the-century farmhouse, barn, where this thing come from. But when you look at the craftsmanship that Josh and the rest of the crew has here, this is 3 pieces of wood. Well, if you add the ends of it, 5 pieces of wood. They have glued and stapled together, mitered the edges, and then distressed it to look like a legit beam. I mean, if that's not craftsmanship, I don't know what is, and it's heavy too, so it's phenomenal.
Yeah, and we did this for a couple of reasons. One, trying to find the perfect size hand-hewn beam. If you were working with a real beam, it's hard to find the exact size that's necessary for a customer's project. But 2, also when you're trying to manipulate a solid piece of wood, it's a lot more challenging to install something like that. So I created something like this, so a one-man operation could install this mantle onto the wall. And so weight purposes, size, And then we're also able to control quality.
Yep.
And also with barn wood, sometimes you never know what kind of insects, bugs, beetles, termites are in that barn wood. So if it's not kiln dried and treated properly, you're introducing that to your home. So
sure, or even a scent that may be
that's correct.
in the lumber. Sure.
That's correct.
Yeah.
We try to keep the scent out.
No, that's phenomenal.
So brand new material that we just kind of distress to make it look like a real timber. And then we do much bigger projects, so we're able to manipulate it. And from a liability standpoint, this is actually a safer way of putting accent pieces in your home without it being too heavy for that ceiling or for the mantle itself.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So
yeah, phenomenal. What are some of the unique features of this table? When you guys constructed this, what are some things that you put on this table that you may not be able to see when you're enjoying a nice home-cooked meal from it?
Well, if you take a look at the details on the edge, so this is called a live edge. So you have the sap grain on the outside where you get in that creamy grain, if you will, and then you have the heartwood. What's nice about this is we have an average about 40 to 42 inches overall diameter of this table itself. But most people, when they're building a table, they go with straight lines for aprons. This table is very unique. It's actually one of our designs here. So in addition to the live edge on the side, we did a live edge on underneath for the apron as well. So we took our 1-inch stock and our monkey pod and wrapped that entire perimeter apron with that live edge as well. So not just live edge on the outside, but underneath as well.
How is it affixed together? Is it glued, screwed?
Yeah.
Do you have dowels in there? What do you?
We also offer, in addition to the slabs, we have dimensional lumber and monkey pod. So it's they call it 8/4, which is 2-inch thick stock. We actually glued and seamed that together, and so these legs are all custom from scratch. We glued these 8x8 blocks together, and then hand carved all the corbels that you have on there, the structural corbels and the feet, and the top bracing that holds the table up. And if you see, we have a bridge on there that we had sanded and connected, that connects the two legs together. And that's our trestle, our chunky trestle style leg in our monkey pod species.
Yeah, so unique. Yeah, you're not going to find this in a store.
No.
Your pieces truly are one of a kind. When I was walking through, they're like snowflakes. I mean, you're really not going to find one piece that's identical. Just from the grain pattern to the type of wood, be it domestic or exotic, the style of the legs you have. Now, real quick too, you also have a metal fabricator on site that does metal legs for you. So that's the other option that you offer, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, we offer 6 different steel leg option designs as well. And so what's nice is if a customer doesn't know what they're looking for, we offer turn legs, steel legs. So they choose their leg pattern, they choose their species of wood, whether it's domestic or exotic, and then we'll formulate that table and make it as unique as they would like it.
Wow, that's great. So faux beams to bar tops, countertops, islands, tables, I mean really the full enchilada.
Absolutely.
Speaking of enchiladas, if you have yet to check out Snap Taco, you did a bunch of tables for them.
Absolutely, all in the Costa Rican lumber. So we did about 18 to 20 different tables in there. We have actually a majority of all the species that we have here inside of Snap Taco, and we did all the seat work. Our steel fabricator had made all the legs, and then our upholsterer did all of our seat cushions over there as well.
That's great. That's great. So yeah, if you're hungry, go to Snap Taco and check out a bunch of the tables that Josh and his crew created. Just artwork is all I can say. Phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks again, Josh.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Right now, this is our slab flattener by Wood Mizer. It's called the Slab Mizer. So we have actually constructed a jig for doing our cross cuts, our cookies here. So this machine, what it does is actually has a 5-inch disc that's on here. It's like a CNC head, if you will, and it'll go across and take out any of the high spots on here. We'll true up one side, and then we'll flip it over and mimic the other side. So after it's all said and done, this will be a perfectly flat on both sides cross cut. Whether it's an end table or a tabletop, we do this with all of our slabs and all of our cross cuts. So I'm going to go ahead and do our first pass. We're hitting our highest point first, and then as we come back and forth, we'll go across the whole thing. We'll drop the head a little bit lower, and then just keep going till it's perfectly flat. And then, as I said before, we'll flip it over. This right here, this hose is actually our dust collection system. It takes out, takes up all the, the sawdust, if you will, and wood chips, so it's not flying all over the place. So let's go ahead and give her a go. So I like to be at eye level so I can see what's going on, make sure we're not bottoming out and hogging too much. We used to do this by hand with a 2-inch router and a little router sled, and it was quite the mess, and it took a lot more time, and as you can imagine, it wasn't as efficient as this machine here. This is a service that we offer the general public and even the do-it-yourselfers. They may not buy the slabs from us, but they could come out and definitely have their slabs or their crosscuts flattened by us. But it's done in a very timely manner, and they're able to get back into their woodworking project pretty rapidly. On flattening, we have less than a 2-day turnaround.
So Josh, tell me about the exotics a little bit more. Where do you source these from? What's that process of getting them to the States here?
So what we typically do is we like to go down and actually hand select them.
So where do you go for those?
When we go down to Costa Rica,
okay.
And we'll go down there for a week or so and actually take a tour of the mill, take a look at the operation. There's a couple mills down there that we like to consider for our slabs. But when we go down there, we're actually looking at each and every individual slab to make sure it's going to fit for our table parameters, also for our countertops, our bars. We want to make sure they're not too skinny, they're not too much warpage going on in there. Sure. But also we look for the character and the grain pattern as we're going through and sorting through the stacks. But we typically get a whole shipping container full. And there's roughly over 150 to 200 slabs at a time that we'll sort through to make sure that we have an adequate amount for the public.
That's great. Now, what's also unique about LumberMac is that could I go anywhere else and get these slabs?
In the state of Michigan, I am the only one.
So you are unique to these slabs in the state of Michigan. I couldn't go to any other mill in Michigan and get wood like this.
That's correct, yeah. 100% import from Costa Rica.
That's impressive.
Yeah. So we like it. We want that uniqueness and that character. And there's such a uniqueness to the graining. It's got this marbling to it, if you will. The only closest lumber that I could think of would be like a walnut, if you will. But we're very aggressively priced, so you could actually afford an exotic piece like this and pay the same as walnut, possibly even less, which is nice about that. We feel that it's so pretty that it belongs in a majority of the homes that are out there.
And then because of the size of these trees, you don't have to do glue ups with these.
No, they're
You're
one
getting
solid
full
slab.
slabs. And
Right.
so the size of this? It's kind of hard to tell on camera. What would you say? What's the size of this table?
So currently, this table is over 40 inches across, and this is over 7 foot in length.
Wow. So one full slab. If you were to do a domestic this size, how many glue ups are you on average?
You're probably looking 7 to 8 pieces to glue something like this up.
Wow. So
Yeah.
full slabs, unique to Costa Rica, unique to Lumber Mac.
Correct.
That's pretty phenomenal.
Oh, yeah, we agree.
So do you have an open door policy? Is your building open for people to walk in off the street to check out slabs, place orders, take a look at the designing side of things, charcuterie boards, cutting boards? Like, could I walk in off the street? And if I can, how do I find you?
Absolutely. So we're available on Google and on Facebook, on Oxford Lumber Mac for Facebook. We welcome the public. We're open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5. And then Saturdays and our appointment only. Sundays are kind of like a no-go zone. That's time for family, so we're not open on Sundays.
And then how about the address? What's the address?
Oh, we're located here off of Glassby. It's 465 South Glassby Street. We're at Unit C here in Oxford, Michigan.
Perfect. So you're probably maybe a driving wedge from downtown.
Yeah, I mean, we're maybe a mile away, not even. I mean, we're right off the industrial drive
close
here.
Close to the high school, close to downtown. That's why he's incorporating a bunch of high school students in here to do a bunch of the work and learning the trade. And I mean, what I've got to say is when I look around, these aren't your Art Van, Gardner White, or even going a notch above and say Pottery Barn tables. These are unbelievable. I mean, I don't know if the camera can tell how nice these are, but you've got to come by, if anything, just to take a look at the craftsmanship. I mean, these guys who are working here are craftsmen, true craftsmen. They've honed their skills. They're bringing up the young bucks as well to kind of learn the trade. And these are tables, countertops, bar tops, islands that are going to last a lifetime, and they're going to be heirlooms that you're going to pass down through generations. These aren't going to I can't say enough about the quality of the work that's throughout this facility.
Thank you very much for that, Matt. I appreciate it. Using solid woods, what's nice about it, over time, kids are going to beat up furniture. Sure. It being solid wood, we could always refinish this. I mean, multiple finishes on this, so it will last a very long time. And I notice, furniture coming from overseas or things that are imported, they tend to fall apart. The surfaces don't last as long. They're usually made with a veneer, and so the benefits to having solid wood: one, you get something that you could always restore and refinish. If you don't like the color, we could always darken it, lighten it, but make it as unique as the individual ordering it. That's what our motto is.
That's great. Well, thanks for taking the time to let us kind of bombard you with the crew here at your awesome facility and take a look at what you guys do.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Matt. Appreciate you very much.
Well, thanks for joining us for another episode of Locally Grown, where we had a chance to look at firsthand the craftsmanship that comes out of this facility located at 465 South Glassby in Oxford. Josh and his crew, what do? We talked about the tabletops that they do, the bar tops, the islands, bringing in those young bucks from Oxford High School to be able to be trained and work and learn this craftsmanship. So if you're looking for any of those things I just mentioned, or if you have some unique piece that you want to create, check out the show notes. We'll have all the information there for you to get a hold of Josh and his staff. The address will be posted on there again, so you can come on by and take a look at just this artwork that they create here. So see you next time on Locally Grown.